Peace, parishioners, onlookers, and listeners. It's why me. So as of now, I've taken off the inside door panel, which is in my trunk. It took a lot of pushing, pulling, prying. I stuck my arm in between the inside door panel, and this here just to wedge it out. It was tough, yo. So like I said, I got in. It took me like a week, but 3 hours a day for a week, maybe 2 hours a day. Just, learning curve, lack of knowledge, trying to figure out how this works and all those things. But I finally got in. Obviously, the dealer didn't know how much it would cost. The pricing started at $500, and it could have went all the way up to $2,000, $3,000 just for time. Parts and labor wasn't even included at that point because they didn't really know how long it would take to get the door panel off. The actuator failed. So at some point, my door was stuck and it would not open from the inside or the outside. As I showed you in the previous YouTube short, I was able to get in, and this is how. Like, I basically ripped the actuator off, which is in there. It's inside the middle of the door panel. So I really want to take this out, unhinge it from the doorknob, from the door handle on the outside, and then just see how it looks. It's a Saturday, it's a Memorial Day weekend. I got an extra day off of work, so now I'm getting to it. I've already taken apart the wires, the inside cables, the ones that hook up to the door, just by using a fastener tool. Where's my thing? So this basically by using one of these here. Got this from Ace Hardware or Lowe's or somewhere like that. And it's my little tool set, and this is what we do. So in the next video or in the next segment or what have you, I'll show y'all my progress. All right, stay tuned. All right, so here's an update with the screws out. I did a little plug here for the window so it doesn't slide too much. Hopefully that stays, because I don't really want to take the window out. I just want to get behind here, and this is where you pry these little tabs right here on the door. So basically, I'm about to pry this open and see what's behind here. I unplugged everything. I really didn't have to unplug the speaker, but I did anyway, just from watching another video. But basically, the only thing that you have to unhook is on an at least on the Infiniti FX 35, is everything that is attached to this black plate here. Since the speaker's attached to the actual door, I didn't really have to take it out, but it is what it is. So at this point, I'm about to pry this off. I don't want to do it with the phone, so I'm gonna put the phone down, be right back. All right, so here's an update. This is the broken lock actuator from the inside of my door panel. This is where the little lock rod goes that hooks up to the door handle. And let me see, it sits in the car like this. So it sits in the door like this. And pretty much what I had to do was stick my hand back there and basically break it off. So as you can see, it's broken from the back. And what I was left with were the inner workings of this mechanism, so I could just flick the little door handle. But this is what I pretty much had to do. I had to pry it with like a long extension, and then I had to just pretty much break it off until I got to the actual latch that works inside of here that allows you to open the door. So that's what pretty much took me so long. I had to do it with my hand. Let me see if I can show you. I had to do it from this angle right here. Oh, sorry, I dropped the phone real quick. I had to do it sitting in the car, face forward, with my hand in the door at this angle right here. So like so just to give you an option, like say the car is facing forward right now and the door is closed and you can't get in the door. I pretty much had to go like this until it broke off. So I pried on this, did that, stuck a crowbar in there, did all types of stuff until it broke off. Just doing this, boom, 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 till it broke off. So that was what I had to go through. If the door didn't open and I didn't want to spend all that money, that was what I did. I mean, you could take it to the dealer and figure it out, but just pretty much did all of that until it broke. So let's go inside the door. I didn't get this whole thing off. This has to come off, I know. This has to come out. This is hooked up to the door, so it sits like that. This is hooked up to the window. And so if you look in the back here, if you look in the back here, this is all the stuff that's hooked up to the door. All these wires. This goes to the window. This is the cable to the window. That hooks up to the motor, goes to the window. Makes the window go up and down. This is another, these two are the window, what do you call it? I don't know. Like the levers or whatever that makes the window go up and down straight. Let's see what else is back here. So you see pieces of pieces back there because like I said, I had to break it off. So I'm gonna get those pieces out. Then I'll show you what I meant. I'm gonna have to turn the phone in a different angle. So back here is the back of the actuator. Back of the piece. And I had to put my hand on this piece right here to open the door. Let me see. So it's just basically finding it. You'll hear the door open. When it opens, you'll know. It'll have that little pop. And so showing you from the outside, this is how it'll look. It's just this one little piece right here that comes up and down. I don't even think you can see it in focus. Boom. So even if the door is locked, this piece is popping up. Trying not to even say pop in these videos. Everybody says pop in these YouTube videos. It's crazy. Let me focus out. See it? So that's where it's at. I have a brand new actuator, and I'll show you in a minute too. All right, so this is the window motor. Just so you know, in order to get this off, you have to unscrew this from the inside, from on the other side of the door panel. The window motor sits here. See, and you see these 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. These are screwed in from the inside. Again, this is an Infiniti FX 35, 2009, just so you're aware of the nuances of this particular car as it compares to other Nissans. So, unfortunately, the wire got a little bit chewed just because, so try to find some electrical tape or something like that to throw on that. But this is the other side of the window motor, y'all. So y'all know, don't let this door panel hang trying to figure out how to get that motor off. It goes to the inside of this. So this is the window motor is screwed onto this from the inside. So you have to, you know, put your arm behind the door panel to unscrew these. And then that takes a, what is this? It's smaller than a 10. I think this is an 8. So that takes an 8mm socket to get the window motor screws out. So again, this is a better look, cleaner look. The little pin or piece is right here still. I'm gonna go ahead and take the actuator out. I still have the window kind of jammed, and I'm probably gonna take the window out too. As you can see, the bolts for the window are here and here. And then from there, you should be able to slide the window out. I don't think there are any other things that hold the window in place. So again, Infiniti FX 2009, FX 35. And then this is the actuator that is hooked up to the door handle, the latch or the cable or what have you. That's hooked up to the door handle. There's a kind of a holster that it can go into. This is the plug that hooks up. It's not held by anything, it's just a wire. And then the wire runs. Just a wire that's fastened into the door frame. And then the other part of the wire runs alongside the door, down, up, into here. So this is basically like your master wiring system for your entire door. So I don't really want to unplug this or anything like that, but just to let you know, this is like your master wiring system for your entire door. And it runs throughout its various places. Speaker, window motor, the little light that's hooked up to the bottom of your door. Obviously the lock itself. And what else you got? The door. All right, so I'll be back. All right, so the window is out. You have to take this out first. Hopefully I can figure out how to put this joint back in there. But that's good to take. It's good to take videos as you're going through it. So just in case you forget something, you can easily remember. So the window is out. And as you can see, where is it? I don't even know where it is. Oh, it's this. So it's this little piece right here that allows you to open the door. That. I push it up, but you can also push it down. But with no window in there, somebody named little crackhead can jump in the car or whatever. Good thing there ain't no real crackheads around here. But, you know, as you can see, the window is out, door panel off. This is the frame or whatever you want to call it that holds the window in place. This is the way to fix the latch. What you call it? The motor. All right. Right back. And so again, this is the other cable. This is the cable that goes into the actual lock, the actuator itself, from the door to the actuator. So basically when you pull on the door handle, where's this shit? When you pull on the door handle, this little ball gets pushed down or pulled down, and then it opens the door. Somewhere along the line, one of these parts failed. More or less, it was the actuator that had broke off. And so what I'm gonna have to do is obviously take out the door handle to get to this wire. I may be able to put this on a new actuator. I may not have to take out the door handle because the actuator that I have didn't come with any wires. So this one being still intact, I could probably just put this into the thing, to the actuator. So let me go get it, and I'll show y'all what it looks like. I'm all for a nice car, you know, with a nice engine, but these people be overdoing it out here with those loud ass cars, man. But anyway, this is the new actuator, not the new one, but the replacement that I bought off of eBay. It was like $90. As you can see, front right, left hand. I accidentally ordered one for the back left. So the seller, and I'll leave his name in my description, was nice enough to just send me the right part. He was very, transparent, and he communicated a lot, so I will leave him a good review as soon as I'm done with this. And this is the replacement actuator. So pretty much it will go in the car like this. The rod, I have to figure out how to hook that rod back up. Somewhere along the line something came apart or stopped working. I can't really verify what it was. This is what the lock rod looks like. Show you in a minute. This little piece right here is the lock rod. It goes into this clamp. Can't really do it with one hand. Let me see, I might be able to. Yeah, so this is basically what hooks onto the door somewhere. I'll figure that out, and I'll also show y'all the video that I watched that was very helpful. Get out of here. And so let's go, keep going. Probably gonna take me another hour or two because I'm also filming, but you know, I haven't seen any videos all the way through for Infiniti FX 35. Everyone tells you how to get it off with the door open or with the door being able to open. My situation was the door was not able to open at all. So everyone shows you how to do it with the door open. And then I'll show you another actuator that I bought for a Nissan Rogue because I needed one wire off of it, or a couple wires off of it. So I'll show you another door actuator for a Nissan Rogue. Actually, let me just unplug my phone and go get it because my battery is charged. So this is the actuator for a Nissan Rogue that I bought because, again, I needed the wires. I could not find the wires anywhere. So this is how it looks. This is the cable that is hooked up to the door handle. This one. This cable controls the latch on the inside of the car, the little knob. And this cable controls the door handle on the inside of the door panel. So this is for the door handle, this is for the latch. When you pull the latch, this pulls. When you open the door handle, this pulls. This is controlled by the lock actuator. So this also, inside of my car, would not let me open the little latch, the little knob inside of my car. Pulls on the knob. The door handle will also not let me open the door from the inside. So this is where we are. Boom. This is the whole interior to my door. Boom. So the next step is taking off the door handle. And I might not need to, because again, I have this. And I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Like, my door handle was fine. So I'm gonna try it without having to take off the door handle. Because I don't, like I said, I don't think I need to. I just think I need to take the actuator out. Which you take it out from here. Some Phillips heads. Take that out. Hopefully y'all can see because my phone is in reverse. Let me walk around. Phillips head. I'm not gonna take off the door handle because, again, that wire is still in place. And I'm gonna hook the door handle up to the new actuator. Let's see how far we get. Right back. So we back. Again, I want to make a correction to the last thing. These are not Phillips heads to take out the actuator. It's actually a T25. 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 All right. And I'm not going to take off the door handle because this wire still seems to be fine. And again, I did not get any wires with my replacement actuator. The gentleman did not have extra wires, but I think that I'm gonna be fine. The only thing I need to figure out is how to hook this up and where this goes. It's the only thing I need to figure. Oh, okay. I think it goes there. You see that pink thing up there? Goes right there. And I don't think that I broke it, so I should be fine. I don't think that broke. Somehow or another that came off. So again, if you, depending on the size of your hands, my hands are not that small, but they're not that big either. So I was able to get my hand in here while the door, this was on. Mind you, again, like I said, this was the angle that I had to take to pretty much pry it. I used a long crowbar to kind of wedge it off at first. I heard some snaps. This is one of the coils, the one that controls, but I'm not sure if this is in working condition. I use like a long crowbar like this just to get in between the door and just this was a work in progress, man. Like, so for anybody that's trying to do it, this is not for the faint of heart. Don't get discouraged. I'm the type of person that will break down eventually, and on the last day that I was like, okay, look, I'm taking this to a mechanic, man. I'm gonna just have to pay this money, is when I got the actuator to finally break off and I was able to get in my car. So for a couple weeks, I've been riding around just flicking that little latch just to get in and out my car. I got to pick my kids up from school, drop them off, and things like that. I wasn't able to do because I'm kind of like a big guy. Like, I'm 6 feet, 250. Hopping over this center console is not cool. Cramps all in my abdomen, everything. It hurt just to hop over that. So depending on if you're big or tall, I don't know. You know, these are kind of like vintage cars. I see a lot of people with them still. The discontinued models, so you know the parts are gonna be expensive. The repair is gonna be expensive. I was able to tune this up not too long ago, like around the time when the Final Four was happening. This is Memorial Day weekend where I'm making this video, and I tuned it up. I changed the intake hose, one intake hose. I cleaned the MAF sensors. I changed all 6 spark plugs and all 6 coils, and I cleaned out the throttle body, both throttle bodies. I cleaned them out. So I was able to give this thing a light tune-up, and on May the 3rd, this is when my actuator went out for my car. So, you know, you're gonna have some problems with these things. You gotta try to keep it up to date. My ECU went out maybe like a couple years ago, but I was still making payments on it. So I had to pay like $2,500 to get the ECU repaired. So if you're thinking about getting one of these cars, just remember, like, the maintenance on these are not cheap. And so these are some of the things you got to go through. You got to maybe be a little proficient in repairing this yourself, just to save you like $600, $700, $800 at the shop. They know that these cars are discontinued, and they know that people that drive them don't necessarily want to get their hands dirty. You know, it's a luxury car per se, so they don't necessarily want to get their hands dirty and do these things. But like, this is what you got to do when you're an Infiniti owner and you want to make modifications to it, you want to do anything to it. These are some of the things that you have to be aware of, especially anything that has to do with the electronics or the electrical components in this car. It is what it is. All right, so I'll be back. I'm gonna put the new actuator on and try to hook it up, see what happens. Okay, so the broken piece of the actuator is finally off, y'all. And I want to make a correction. This is not a Phillips head. This is a T25. Okay? Sorry about that. I'm not a mechanic, so everything I did, I learned off YouTube. So again, this is a T25. I have a T25 here. And again, I'll list all these parts in the description. So I have a T25 screw that I was able to get out the actuator. So what's next? Trying to put the new one on. And let's let's see how it goes. I have my T25s and I'll just do everything that I did in reverse. I'm not gonna take off the door handle because this one seems to be okay. Like, let's even check. Let's put these down really quickly. And let's pull the door handle and see what happens. All right, sorry for the delay. It took me a little minute, but this will be all strung together, so it really won't be one. So this is the new actuator. I took the cables off of the Nissan Rogue actuator and I put it on the Infiniti. Pretty much the same length. Oh, come on, damn flies. Pretty much the same length, same everything. All you have to do is just, you can focus, get that little pin in there. Just take these out first. If you ever had to do this, obviously, or if you had to switch the cables from your old actuator into your new one, just unplug these first and then just get them into the fit. It should be kind of self-explanatory. This one is kind of like independent, so it flip-flops. This one is controlled by the cable because this one goes to the door handle. So, and I also put the old cable from the door handle from the outside in. Like I said, I'm not taking this off. And I'm about to plug it up, sit it back in here. This was difficult for some reason, getting that lock rod in place. Have no idea why that was so difficult, but it fell. So the best thing to do is to also have you a magnet. For some reason, something told me to buy magnets. So I bought some magnets from Lowe's and I was able to get the lock rod from all the way back there in the corner, behind this, underneath that. So it's probably good to have a magnet, a strong magnet, just in case some of your screws or anything like that falls in your door frame. Instead of like sacrificing your hands and cutting your hands and maybe cutting a vein or anything like that, a magnet would be tremendously helpful, or any screwdriver or anything that's magnetized. So just remember that too. All right, so I'm about to fasten this back on with the T25s and try to do everything in reverse. Try to plug everything back up, and I will give y'all an update each step. All right, unfortunately, here's an update. I have to take the door handle off because some reason this piece is not opening. This piece is not, like, when I hook the actuator up to it and I pull the door handle. Oh, the door handle's down here. Took it off. It's not opening. So I had to take the door handle off, and then unfortunately this piece that was originally to my car snapped. So you got to be careful with that. I still have the other one, but this part snapped. So I'll be right back, just to let y'all know. Still work in progress. All right, family. So this was the culprit, why my door would not open from the outside. So here's what happened. This was hooked up. You notice how this ball joint is supposed to go in here. Let's start from the beginning. This ball joint is supposed to go in here, and boom, and hook up like that. Unfortunately, it slipped out. So it was, when I got into my car, it was like this. So it slipped out. So I don't know what the first step would be to doing something like this. I think you would have to take off your door handle first, maybe. But if you have an issue where your car is not opening from the outside, there could be a possibility that this ball joint slipped out of its bracket, which should be here again, and then clipped on. It's possible that it slipped out. So in my case, it slipped out. and I couldn't open my door from the outside. All right, so here's an update. I had to wind up taking the door handle off because I found the culprit. As I showed y'all in the previous slide or what have you, that's something that you got to think about. If your door's not opening from the outside, chances are that joint slipped. That's crazy. All that to find out that that joint slipped. But I had these little earplugs from when I go to the range, and then I pretty much stuck a little piece of wax in the joint so that it would stay. I should have taken a video of it, but I forgot. Been out here for a couple hours, but this is a good thing to do. Something that'll stick, piece of glue, I don't know, anything that you can ball up and wedge in there so it could possibly keep that joint from slipping and sliding out. So I'm about to put the door back. So basically this wasn't engaged. So if you look at this, watch this move as I open the door handle. That wasn't engaged, and so I couldn't open the door from the outside. That was one issue, and I think also the actuator failed. So that was two issues. There it is. All right, so we got the door lock actuator back on. The Nissan cable is not as long as the Infiniti cable, but it still works. Works from the outside. Pull a handle, and it comes up. The actuator is functional, so it seems like that's good. This pulls, that pulls. Sorry. This pulls, that pulls. So hopefully these are long enough to attach to the door. Haven't tried that out yet. That's gonna be like the final step, but it seems like it is. So let's just hope that these are long enough to reach. That may be my only issue. And let's go. Give y'all an update. I'm about to put this back on. Give y'all an update. All right. So we look like we're done. Just got to put the door panel back on. And the hardest thing was getting this motor on. I really couldn't document it, but it's probably a two-man job, or you get that little airbag and squeeze it in between this door. The video that I linked, the mechanic used that airbag, which seems to be very helpful, but by the time I had to go through all that stuff and everything, I was just determined to get it on without it. So I got it on without it. The window works, as you can see. Got it on without the airbag. So what I did was I screwed these four onto the door frame by itself, and it was independent from the window. And then what I did was I had the window all the way up, and then I kind of let the window fall in place. And as it fell in place, I was able to at least get the screw in that goes on this pane. I was able to get that in. Then I took all four of these back off, and then I screwed the other side in. That was how I did it, which worked for me. So, you know, at the end of the day, the door latch pulls. As you can see, the door opens from the outside, and it should open from the inside once I hook these back up. The window goes down. I'm missing a screw for my speaker. Like I said, it was good that I took the speaker open because I used this hole to kind of get my hand through and fish my arm through to kind of hold stuff in place. It took me a while. Like I said, I don't know, I must have had my car on and my battery died. So I had to call AAA to jump me. I went and took a break though. I don't have a battery jumper, but I am gonna get one. So outside of that, it took me all day, man. I was out here from the time the sun came up, and the sun is about to go down. Probably took me 8 hours by myself to do this. The guy in the video did it in 20 minutes, but I'm not a master mechanic like he is, so it is what it is. But yeah, getting that window back on, it's probably a two-man job. I'm out in this South Carolina heat. You see, I had to put this umbrella up according to how the sun was coming down. I need to put this back on. And that's about it. So, like I said, yeah, getting this window back on is probably a two-man job. I'll be back with the final, the final statements, my last words. Try to put this whole video together. Sorry that it's in bits and pieces, but I had to do this by myself and film it. But I didn't see anybody doing an Infiniti FX 35, so I wanted to show y'all the best way I could. I hope this video helps.